Moore Street is the battle place and the birthplace of the Irish Republic. The lanes around Moore Street that surround it record the heroism and the actions of the people who were out in 1916. The Moore Street battlefield site was the location of the final stand of many of the volunteers who fought in the GPO. They came under heavy machine fire in the laneways around Moore Street, and they set up the headquarters of the 1916 Provisional Government and the last and the final Council of War. These actions were the precursor to the independent state today, and hopefully to the independence of the north of Ireland some sunny days soon. And the freedoms that we have in this state today are as a direct result of the heroism of the men and women who fought on that battlefield site. The ministers who hold office today, and Minister, think about this, you hold office today in large part because of the actions of the men and women of 1916 and on this particular site. So I'll ask, what is the result of holding office with regards to the Moore Street battlefield site? After 10 years of Fine Gael government, the most important battlefield site of the Republic is shrouded in grime and dereliction. It is a place where people urinate, it's a place where people defecate, and it's a place where traitors are assaulted. Over 100 years after the 1916 Rising, the battlefield site, the birthplace of the Republic, is an absolute derelict site. It is, after all of the talking, all of the bills, all of the forums, it is an outdoor toilet, Minister. It's not an absolute shocking dereliction of duty when it comes to our heritage as a people, as a country, as a nation, and a shocking dereliction of duty with regards to the responsibilities we owe to the traders who operate on that particular site. And it shows the priorities of this particular government. You know, I've been on some of those groups, the committees, the forums. I've listened to the Dáil debates. The net results of all the 10 years of work on Moore Street is dereliction. It has been allowed to die a slow death. And it shouldn't, because Moore Street should present a serious opportunity. It could be an engine of renewal in the North Inner City. It could be a cultural hub that breathes new life into the area west of O'Connell Street. It could be where the historical, cultural, Irish language and commercial interests of this country could operate side by side successfully. A new rejuvenated Moore Street could actually rival the great outdoor markets that are seen in other European cities. But instead, it is a derelict site because of Fine Gael's inaction over the last 10 years. Instead, the government are paralysed. They're waiting for Hammersons, who owned much of the battlefield site. The government's strategy is like the strategy of the previous government, is to defer to the commercial interests of the vulture funds who have owned this site. In other words, the government have given primacy to the commercial interests of the large property companies at the cost of Ireland's heritage. Moore Street is the battlefield site, but it is a site where now there is another battle going on, a battle between large international property owners and the citizens groups and the relatives groups who are battling to keep that site as part of Ireland's valuable heritage. So on what side is this government on that particular battle? What side is Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael and the Greens on that battle? Well, Fine Gael have stood with the property interests against the heritage of Ireland for many a long year. And anybody that wants to know of another example of this simply has to look what happens to the O'Rahilly House just in the last 6 months. It was allowed, even though I warned the ministers, it was allowed to be demolished, and it stands demolished today. Where do Fianna Fáil stand? Well, Fianna Fáil stand in different places depending on the weather, depending on whether they're in government or not. And indeed, the bill that we're discussing today is a bill largely based on Darragh O'Brien's bill, Darragh O'Brien's Fianna Fáil bill, which he quickly dropped as soon as he got a ministerial seat underneath his rear end. It's an incredible situation that Fianna Fáil will say one thing in government, yet it's a different party when it comes to opposition. And the deferral to Hammersons is a massive mistake to their plan, I believe, because it's reported in the newspapers just this week that Hammerson's is in serious financial trouble. It posted €1.7 billion loss for 2020. It gave a formal warning with regards its ability to continue as a going concern. So, the government have put all their eggs in the Hammerson's basket with regards to the rejuvenation of Moore Street. And yet, this particular property company may not be able to make it to the end of this year. And why wait? The government already owns a heap of buildings on that particular street. We could be rejuvenating the street that the state owns currently. We could have a museum in there. We could be breathing new life in there. We in Ain2 have provided a bill with regards Moore Street already. We have campaigned strongly for the heritage of this country to be given the value that it's entitled to. Yet, unfortunately, to date, it has been landing on deaf ears.